ever since we heard those opening chords of the tuba, Jaws has become a staple within horror, typically returning to theaters or drive-ins at the start of every summer. Some parts of the country even screen the film on the lake or the beach where moviegoers can float on the water while watching. Releasing in 1975, Jaws changed the landscape in Hollywood while also creating a void that Hollywood has never been able to fill. Sharks and tornadoes, satanic sharks, or even sharks that punish families at Christmas time. Sure, those are just some of the fun twists on shark movies. There also have been countless attempts to recreate the fear that Jaws stirred in the summer of '75. But sharks aren't the only thing you should fear in the water, and beaches aren't the only water you should think twice about going in. Crocodiles, whales, piranhas, aliens, mermaids, and numerous mythical sea creatures from the deep. Aquatic horror has hundreds of films to choose from, and if you are looking for something to watch after The Meg 2, or just an alternative, here are 5 aquatic horror films that you may not have,
or probably,
heard of.
Number 5. In The Reef, a group of friends set out on a yacht to deliver it to a customer. On the second day of their journey, the boat capsizes after hitting a reef with the closest landmass being 12 miles away. They are left with 2 choices: wait on top of the hull of the boat, hoping that someone finds them, or swim for the island. The friends split up, with 4 of them attempting to swim out to the island while 1 person stayed behind. And as you might expect, since the reef is on this list, the friends swimming out to the island encounter a great white shark that begins to stalk them. As the viewer, you can't help but feel the tension mount over the course of the film, as the real terror does not come from being stalked by a great white, but from the choices our characters make while being stranded at sea with no supplies and limited options. Do you stay with the boat and bake under the sun, or do you chance swimming for help and hope that you can fight off exhaustion long enough not to drown or get eaten? The reef won't make you afraid to go into the water, but it might just make you think twice about going out on a boat.
Somebody help us!
Number 4.
It would appear to be just another 4th of July celebration at the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland, where the locals of Claridge have gathered together to celebrate the holiday with their annual 4th of July festival. However, years of turning a blind eye to corporate greed is about to catch up to the small town as an outbreak quickly spreads through the town, caused by a mutated parasite in the water that has been harvesting on the fish in the bay. In this mockumentary, the story is told a bit different. Shaky cam visuals have been compiled from various sources within the town by a news team looking to expose the truth about the events that unfolded that holiday. Reporter Donna Thomas narrates the visuals as she recounts the horrors that she witnessed and has uncovered since that day. The Bay is a shaky cam film that pulls you into the madness and paranoia that engulfs the town, not always revealing the horrors that await us in the film. Some viewers, like some of the characters, are left helpless listening to the events unfold and allowing our imagination to fill in the blanks. The Bay has a similar vibe to The Crazies, but toned down. It may make you think twice about going fishing again.
Number 3.
The state of Florida has issued a Category 5 hurricane warning. All residents must evacuate immediately.
For those of you who avoid the ocean and rivers thinking that you are safe, what if the water and the creatures lurking within its depths came to you? In the film Crawl, an F5 hurricane slams into Florida, flooding towns along the coast. Just before the storm hits, Haley, our film's protagonist, goes to find her father, Dave, who refuses to evacuate his home. With the help of her dog, she manages to find her father in the crawl space of his home. It's too late, however. No, Dave is not dead. But the levees have given way and water has come raging into her small town and has begun flooding the crawl space, along with 2 crocodiles that have found their way into the home, blocking off the means of escape. Crawl is the ultimate fight for survival as Haley must find a way to safety with her father before drowning or being eaten. It is an edge-of-your-seat thrill ride with gnarly croc kills that is sure to please.
Take 2 hands back!
Number 2.
The Shallows. Coping with the death of her mother, experienced surfer Nancy travels to a secluded beach in Mexico that her mother visited before she was born in hopes of being able to make sense of her life now that her mother is gone while riding the waves. Just before the sun is about to go down, Nancy catches one last wave that causes her to collide with a great white, which bites her leg. Unlike the reef, Nancy isn't stranded miles away from the shore. She's only 200 yards from it and has to find a way to get there. Tensions quickly mount in the film as Nancy is able to climb her way onto a whale carcass to tend to her wounds while the great white circles her. Having been inspired by her husband Ryan Reynolds' role in Buried, Blake Lively delivers a painfully realistic performance in The Shallows, where she is coping with the loss of a mother while trying to find a will to survive. The film is action-packed, and Lively holds your attention not just for her looks, but because of the fact that you can feel her determination and fight to get back to shore.
Number 1. From the man that brought you Gremlins and Small Soldiers, Joe Dante directed another film that also featured a terrifying sound. Piranha. No, not the CGI'd breast fest that we saw in the 2010s. The original, that released in the summer of 1978 and saw Universal Studios file an injunction to halt its release. After 2 teenagers go missing, after going skinny dipping at an abandoned military compound, a search party discovers the holding pool where the teenagers had gone and drain it, unknowingly setting a school of genetically enhanced piranha free in the river.
Who could have imagined they were there? Who could have predicted they would attack? And now, who would survive?
Now it becomes a race against time in stopping the local dam from opening the spillway to the river that feeds down to the lakes and rivers that numerous summer camps utilize. Piranha was the first in a series of horror films inspired by Jaws to come out and intertwines the real-life U.S. military horror tactics used during the Vietnam War. As the piranha were created to survive the North Vietnamese rivers, cold waters, and kill any Viet Cong that would take to the waters, Piranha is a gory, fun, aquatic horror and one of the best that rarely gets talked about.
So are you going to see the Meg 2? Or are you like, I seen Jaws, I don't really need to see Meg 2 after Meg 1? What aquatic horror movies do you watch, and what would you recommend for this list? Now, I'll have to say The Reef is a kind of sort of true story, because those events happened, but when they were going to make the film, they were like, we don't want to kill tourists in Australia, so let's not say it's a real story. But there is a sequel to it, so it is a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And I have to say, a 12-mile swim, yeah, that's not easy.
No, I'm just gonna drown.
When I was in my best shape, not like this, I had tried out to be a lifeguard, and after a couple of laps in an Olympic-sized pool, I was done. So I can't see anybody doing 12 miles, especially the people in that film.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's something that they do every day. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just all of a sudden, like, go out there and be like, yeah, I'm going to swim 12 miles. And I mean, the one guy, he was a little round. So I don't think he was swimming 12 miles at all.
No, not at all. But that's a very good movie to watch, and it's good to pair up with any of these, especially if you pair it up with The Shallows. The Shallows was another movie that when we went to go see it in the theater, I was just like, wow, this is a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, he only really went to see it, I think, because Blake Lively was in it.
No.
I don't think you really cared to see it, did you?
No, I didn't care to see it for her in it, and I didn't care to see it because
I
it was a
know
shark
because
movie.
you like her. Like, she's a good actor, so...
No, I didn't like her until the film after that one.
Oh, Simple Favor?
Yes.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, I don't go to see movies just because there's TNA in it. I go to see a movie because I'm interested in it, and when it comes...
That isn't what I meant.
And when...
That isn't what I meant. I literally said it's because you thought she was a good actor.
Oh, well, I think she's a good actor now.
Not because of what she looks like in a bikini, which of course is amazing, but you know.
But yeah, a lot better than I expected. There is good suspense in that movie, definitely.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And there's, a lot of times where, you feel like she's just going to give up and, not even fight anymore, especially since she lost her mom. So she's kind of lost herself.
How crazy it was her doing this film. She was 2 months pregnant at the time.
Yeah. That's the kind of person that could swim 12 miles.
Probably. Probably.
If she can film a movie like this while she's pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, The Bay was a good one. It's on a lot of people's lists as like their favorite shaky cam film, but I will warn people, the shaky cam is not the shaky cam that you're kind of used to. Because it is from various cameras that were found after the events. Mm-hmm. There are things that are really shaky, and for people that get a little nauseous from watching those movies, this one may not be for you, but it is a good one.
Yeah, it does. It comes from people's surveillance cameras on their houses, people's cell phones, dash cams on police cars.
Yes.
The reporters. So there's several different sources that actually filmed what happened in the movie.
Yeah, and out of all the movies on this list, this is the one that is most likely to occur to somebody.
Yeah.
That's the scary part. Because you can encounter the parasite, because the parasite is real.
It's really ugly.
And what caused the parasite to mutate is stuff that happens today. So the premise of the movie is very good. It is like The Crazies. I did get that feel. Did you get that feel?
Yeah,
too?
I did. I felt like it was like The Crazies, but near water. Instead of just running through fields and stuff. So yeah, it had that vibe to it.
So I thought that was very good. That's probably something that I would want to pick up eventually. So I'll have to go and check that out on Blu-ray and see what that's going for. Probably a crazy amount of money.
Nope. That's the one that's $10 at Best Buy, but we couldn't get it right away.
Oh, okay, good. Because I was seeing it for $30 and more in other places.
Why did you look there? When I looked on Best Buy, you asked me to before we rented it. Oh, he forgets a lot of things.
Crawl was very good as well. So that's another one that we saw in the theaters. Another one that was a lot better than I expected it to be.
Yeah, I really was like, this is gonna be ridiculous. But I mean, we've seen floodwaters, right? When you have hurricanes, and floodwaters go up over cars and even houses. So it's not, and you're in Florida, which has crocodiles everywhere.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I could totally see some of these things happening.
Yeah, and it's not that, I'm not a Lake Placid guy, so there's not that many good gator films or crocodile films out there. The one that I really loved harks back to me being a little kid, where they actually flush alligators, a baby alligator down the toilet, and he comes back in the sewer and he kills a lot of things. That movie is very good, and I think this is probably the best crocodile alligator movie made since then.
What was the name of that movie?
Alligator.
It was an alligator? That's what I thought. I didn't see that until he showed it to me.
I think it's still on Chiller, and part 2 may be there too.
I only saw the first one.
I never seen the second one.
No.
So, first one was good enough for me, and that's where I'll leave it at.
Yeah, and like we said, Crawl was a lot better than we expected it to be.
Good suspense, good action scenes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't like crocodiles, so... which is another reason I wouldn't live in Florida.
Yeah, they are some gnarly looking things.
Yeah, and I don't want them just
ugly.
crawling in my backyard. Like, you just walk outside and it's like, oh, hello, Mr. Crocodile.
Yeah, you people down south, man.
I'm good.
Good for you.
You keep them. And the big bugs.
Piranha, 1978. I always loved this film from being a little kid all the way up until now. Again, this was one of those movies that they played on TV on Sunday afternoons. And they didn't cut much out. So you hear you see the blood and you see some of the effects back in the 80s, but the sound is what haunted me. The piranha sounds, the way they would come up to people and they were eating people, that was what stuck with me the most.
I didn't see that movie.
Yes, you did.
Did I?
Yeah.
When? Bitey little fuckers. I think I remember. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a slight bit of a comedy.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't like piranhas. At all. My uncle had one in his fish tank. Didn't realize it. I don't know how the hell he did that, my Uncle Joe.
Anyway, again, let us know what you're watching aquatic horror-wise. You know, it is the summertime, so do you kind of avoid these films now, or are you like, hey, I gotta watch it?
Have to watch it.
Yeah, especially 4th of July. I know it's past, but, you know, gotta get that Jaws in there for the 4th of July.
We did. It's tradition.
Yes, anytime it comes on TV, that's what stays on TV. Yes. Anyway, don't forget to do a couple of things.
Like, comments, share, and subscribe.
Yes, thank you for watching our video. Thank you for watching our other videos. And until the next Pop 5,
see ya.